I've generated over $20 million through the network marketing industry directly in the last decade alone. I've built organizations of hundreds of thousands of distributors. These are not people that signed up for free in some, single tier affiliate program. As a CEO and founder of RapidFunnel, one of the top platforms in the world, if not the number one platform for leaders in network marketing, I got to witness what top leaders do. My own team was hundreds of thousands of people. I was simply trying to solve a problem when I built RapidFunnel, and we built it to a $30 million valuation in less than 6 years, and we did it without taking any venture capital. Now, in addition to that, as I mentioned, I've gotten to work with tons of leaders all over the globe. Every single month, we help organizations generate tens of millions in revenue through sales and their recruiting efforts. Here's why I'm confident, though. More than anything else, we have the data and the case studies to back it up. Correlation data, causation data. We know what the most productive organizations and leaders and distributors do that lead to success. Lead measures, lag measures, KPIs. These are the things that matter, and not many people focus on them in network marketing, and they don't have the data, which means you're just guessing. Now, me expressing some of this might cause disbelief, especially people that have been around network marketing. They don't realize there are better systems and technology today. It might cause skepticism in some people, but in a few people, I think it will inspire. That select few, you are who I'm making this for. The people who really want to build a highly leveraged business that will provide you the kind of lifestyle that so many people dream of when they get into networking in the first place. So let's get on with it. I'm going to cover 3 things today specifically. Number 1, how making money in network marketing really works. Number 2, why new opportunities sometimes are keeping you broke, right? And number 3 is why better is the ultimate leverage. Said simply, who wants to build something that lasts? That's what we're talking about. So I mentioned I've spent 30 years in this one space, every aspect you can imagine. I've built teams, I've built technology, I've done lead generation, I've worked directly at the enterprise level. I've been in every aspect of network marketing you can imagine. When I was first introduced to network marketing, I was a very typical story. I was $27,000 in credit card debt. I was desperate to change my life. I was 7 years out of college. I was just married, and I was selling my wife on the incredible future we were going to have. And at the time, I had no financial success to speak of. Julie and I have now been married 30 years, but back then, she paid for every single meal. I mean, every bill for several years while I was painting this picture and trying to build this dream. With the exception of breakfast on our very first date, everything up to that point had been a financial failure. I'd started 4 different businesses, if you will, before I found a vehicle that could help me really achieve the freedom that I wanted. I tried consulting. I worked with a trainer who thought I was a great salesperson, and we partnered, and he was wrong. I wasn't. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Then I tried insurance. I was no good at that. How many policies did I sell? 2. I tried real estate. I have my license. Never sold a home. 0. Then I got into network marketing, my first company. And you know what my biggest check was after 2 years? It was $700. That was it. I was in network marketing, but I still wasn't having success because I hadn't figured out how to build it properly yet. It was that simple. But when my company consolidated, the company I was with consolidated, I stayed committed, I shifted, and a few other things started to happen. I truly started to understand how to create systems. I had a very good sponsor in that business. I made $55,000 the first year. Year 2 was $125,000. Year 3 was almost $250,000. And that was almost 27 years ago. I got that income to over $500,000 and made more millions than I can count. I'm still earning a significant income from it today. So what changed? Did I start working harder all of a sudden? No, I was already working hard. Did I become better salesman? I hope so. I spent 30 years doing it, but that's not it. Here's what changed. I learned that success isn't about being the biggest personal producer. I saw lots of people that outproduced me personally. It's about systems. It's about truly being committed 100% to helping other people leverage what you designed properly in the first place. Do you have to find a decent company with a good product? Yes. Is a comp plan important? Sure it is. But that's not the secret. The secret is, once you've got the fundamentals in place, can you create a duplicatable system? Something you can literally teach people. In most organizations today, you ask 100 people in that organization what they need to do to succeed, and you'll get virtually 100 different answers. That's a problem. When you figure out you can create a shocking amount of leverage, that's the secret. And today we're going to talk about how some of these core principles could really work out for you. Here's the moment everything shifted for me. I had leadership that helped me understand why my results were in direct proportion to the quantity and the quality of my prospecting. I had a sponsor named John, and he literally would call me. And he called me a lot for the first 90 days in the business. And we had a tracking sheet, and he would literally ask me, take a minute or two and build some rapport. And then he would literally ask me, hey, who do we have to talk to today? Who did you talk to yesterday that you have to follow up with? And I started to figure out the ratio matters. The simple discipline around this specific behavior created the results that I was seeking. Then later, much later, I was introduced to a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution, the #1 best-selling business book in the world. And it began to crystallize my understanding of how to truly help an organization succeed. It taught me something that nobody in network marketing was talking about. The difference between lead measures and lag measures, KPIs or key performance indicators. Let me explain. Most people in network marketing focus on lag measures. How much money did I make? How many people joined my team? What rank did I hit? These are simply outcomes. You can't control them. But the lead measures, those are different. Lead measures are the activities that cause the outcomes. Here's what I figured out. If I focused on the lead measure, the activities I could control every single day, the lag measures took care of themselves. I didn't even have to think about it. I learned about KPIs, key performance indicators, the number that actually matters. And I learned about systems, how to build processes that work whether I was there or not. Now, this is different in modern or today's network marketing, affiliate marketing, social space. You need digital tools. You need lead generation. It's changed. When I started 30 years ago, I had a fax, a phone, a meeting to go to, and a VHS tape. And some of you listening to this may not even know what I'm talking about. Look, the system was simple. There was no YouTube and there was no email. We didn't have anything to distract us. That's one of the challenges today in network marketing. What I learned is that duplication, how to create a model that my team could replicate without needing me. And that's when everything began to change, especially when I started to apply this in the digital space. We'll get to that. I stopped hoping for results and started engineering them. So let me ask you, how do you define work? Because that's what gets things done, right? How do you define work? Most people in network marketing think that working hard means making more calls, posting more content, recruiting more people, doing more presentations. And don't get me wrong, activity matters. But here's what nobody tells you. Work equals outputs. And outputs equal volume times leverage. In plain speak, the number of times you do something times how much you get out of each time you do it, right? That's an output. Let me show you what I mean specifically. 2 network marketers, they both make 100 calls a day. Who gets more done? The one with the better script. Okay, same script, Both make 100 calls a day. Who gets more done? The one with the better list, same script, 100 calls a day. Who gets more done? The one who has found a system or automated the follow-up or leveraged it in some way, right? You need a system that either nourishes leads, creates a multiplier effect, it becomes exponential, it's happening while you sleep. Same everything. Who gets more done? The one with the duplicatable system that their team can run without them. Now you might think, if you're the average person today in network marketing, you might think your system is duplicatable. And I'm telling you, in the digital age, it's probably not. Because people are distracted. And if you don't have something that's so concrete and so powerful that you can show people that this is a better way, then I promise you, right, they will get distracted and it will not duplicate. So here's where I'm going with this. You don't win by working more hours. You win by getting more from the hours you work. That's leverage. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. The hardest working person in network marketing is not the person making the most calls. In terms of output, they might work harder, but not in terms of output. The person getting the most output per call, per post, per conversation. Yes, authenticity and relationships in network marketing matter. We'll get to that soon. But at the very top of the funnel, you have to leverage systems. You have to qualify more people faster. The game is rigged today, and you've been playing by rules that don't exist. If you want to make more money in network marketing, you need to get more from your time. You need more leverage. That's exactly why we built RapidFunnel. I had a problem. I was building a massive organization, and I realized I needed technology to give my team real leverage because we were getting passed by, right? The times were changing. But when the times changed, people were leveraging technology that worked, but it didn't duplicate. They couldn't empower others because it was too expensive and too complicated, right? So it had to be easier. So we started to build it. And it turned out every other top leader in network marketing had the exact same problem. That's how you know you're onto something. When you build a solution for yourself and your team, and then leaders all over the globe want access to it. All right, here's where I'm going to probably step on some toes. How many of you have been in more than one network marketing company in the last 24 months? Be honest. And I get it. I've been there. And I'm not saying there's never a reason for it. I had tried lots of different things myself, right? Different opportunities. I can say, though, I didn't jump around in network marketing companies. Right? I had to find the right one, and that's a caveat to this whole conversation, right? Find the right one, and you've got to stick with it. Here's what happens with so many people, and I've got a bird's eye view of so many different people in this industry. And the ones can latch on to a really good company and stay there a long time. They create the freedom that people dream of. What most people do is they join a company. They're excited. They're uninformed, optimistic. That is it. This comp plan is amazing. These products are incredible. I'm going to be a millionaire. And then once they get into it, they realize, there's actually work involved. Informed pessimism, it's called, right? Wait, I have to actually learn how to sell. I have to build systems. I have to talk to people who say no and deal with that rejection. And then they hit the valley of despair. Why am I doing this? This is harder than I thought. Maybe I should get a regular job. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. And this is where most people quit. And yes, the failure ratio in network marketing is enormous, but it's also enormous for teachers, insurance agents, and real estate. Look, success is hard. What I love about network marketing is if you find the right culture, the right product and company, and you stick with it, there are people that will help you teach skills you could never learn otherwise. It's one of the greatest things about this industry, but it's where most people quit. Here's what they do next, and this is the killer. They'll often find another opportunity if they don't hate on the industry forever. Many people will find another opportunity and they start the whole cycle over again. Uninformed optimism, informed pessimism, valley of despair, new opportunity, over and over again. And the difference between video games and real life is this. When you die in a video game, they let you restart it seconds later. When you quit in network marketing, you restart years later. Hopefully you take skills with you, but often that wasn't it. It wasn't the commitment to the skills or they would have gotten there. You keep fighting the same boss and you never learn the lesson. The boss is this. Can you stick with something long enough to actually win? And here's the truth. The grass isn't greener on the other side. The other side is just lined with a different kind of crap. I mean, it's the way it is. I learned this the hard way. I had tried so many different things before, oddly enough, it was network marketing, right? I tried all kind of stuff, but the mentorship wasn't there. The certainty and belief by other people that this was the path. What if the problem isn't the opportunity? What if the problem was me? What if I just needed to pick one thing and get really, really good at that thing? So I did. And 26 years later, I'm still in the same industry. I still collect a check from an incredible company. Look, even Elon conquered the car business before he's decided to colonize Mars. Still earning, still growing. Because ordinary business done for an extended period of time creates extraordinary results, as long as you're learning along the way. Now, here's what I love. Seeing people change their lives, not settling for mediocrity. Sometimes all a person needs to do is find a vehicle like network marketing, get a good system and structure in place, and then stick with it. Who here has seen The Matrix? You need to become the person who can say no to the woman in the red dress. In network marketing, that woman in the red dress, it's the new company launching with the ground floor opportunity, the comp plan that's better than anything you've ever seen before, the product that's going to disrupt the entire industry. But here's what's really important to understand. Fundamentals don't change. First principles matter. And for those who haven't read 0 to 1, first principles are the foundational truths that everything else is built on. They are the non-negotiable laws that don't change no matter what shiny thing comes along. So focus on those. Learn them. Now look, sometimes a company leaves you. That happens. You have to do something about that. But here's the killer. It's the person who jumps to every get-rich-quick opportunity. Promises that are over the top, and they don't sound real, they're probably not. Being able to say no to the woman in the red dress, it happens over and over. You have to stick with that philosophy. When you're making $1,000 a month, it's easy to say no to another $1,000 a month opportunity. But when you're making $50,000 a month and someone shows you a ground floor opportunity that could pay you $100,000 a month, well, that's harder, right? So you always have to be vigilant about these first principles. I've watched people making 6 figures a year jump to a new opportunity because they thought they could do even better. You know what happens? Most of them, they spend 2 years getting back to where they already were. It's a strategic mistake, if not 5 or 10 years. That's another story. Recent or never. Recently, I started following the Founders podcast by a guy named David Sinra. And David reads biographies. You'll love it if you haven't listened to it. Of history's greatest entrepreneurs and tells their stories in their own words because they're mostly autobiographies, right? He's covered hundreds of them. And you know what runs through every single one of these stories? Commitment to a single vision. He only interviews or takes the words of the founders that are iconic, that have built something massive, right? They commit to a single vision. Todd Graves built Raising Cane's on one principle. Do one thing and do it better than anybody else. That's it. Not 7 things, one thing. In my own business in RapidFunnel, I've stayed in network marketing for 30 years. It is helping individuals to win. It's that simple. The woman in the red dress gets more attractive the more successful you become often for some people. They're always dreaming of something bigger, but stick with it. If you can't say no, she will spread you so thin you can't focus on anything. How do you become the person that says no? You do the activities that someone with the character traits that has built something massive would do. That's why you listen to great stories and you read great autobiographies and you find great mentors. You commit to one thing for an unreasonable amount of time. New distractions kill leverage and they keep you poor. It is reasonable to expect measurable progress in reasonable time. Yes, don't stick with something for 5 years and have zero progress. Something's wrong, but it's not usually the opportunity you're in. Focus multiplies leverage. All right, here's the make the money part. Better is better than new. Better is leverage. Because remember, leverage is how you get more from what you put into something. If you do what you're currently doing better, you get more from the same exact activities. Here's an example. If you have a better script, you close more sales from the exact same calls. If you have better follow-up, you convert more leads from the same traffic. And if you have better training, your team duplicates faster. If you have better systems, you work less and earn more. If you have better technology, you multiply your efforts. You can create leverage in your business by being better. See what you experienced when you onboarded with the company. Can you honestly go back and go, wow, that was incredibly simple. I knew exactly what to do. I had confidence going through that process. If not, make it better. Better often comes from paying attention to boring details. It's not exciting to test your follow-up sequence for the 47th time. It does make you more money though. It's not exciting to role play objection handling with your team every single week. It does make you more money. It's not exciting to track your KPIs every single day. It does make you more money. It comes from doing all the stuff that you should be doing but aren't. And once you do it personally and you figure out what works, then you can create systems around those things. So right now, active part, think about this for a second, okay? What's the list of things you know you should be doing in your business right now, but you're not doing it? Top of your head. Take a minute, pause it if you need to, but just write down a few things that you know are your highest payoff activities you should be doing, and they're things that you can improve. Following up with your leads who are hot within 5 minutes instead of 5 hours. Training your new distributors with a proven system. Tracking your team's lead measures. Automating your follow-up. Creating a duplicatable presentation. Figuring out where a steady flow of leads come from for you and your team. Okay, you take that list. This is your gold mine. The reason that this list is so important is because you already know what you need to do. We come to the events, we watch the videos, we get fired up, and this is important because you got to bring your team there. There's got to be some culture, some vision that you're creating. But the work that needs to be done is sitting often at your desk at home, thinking about how to improve these systems and then acting on it, executing on it. Most of us know what to do. We just don't want to confront it because we want to do something that's stimulating, more exciting, something that makes us feel alive. And your business doesn't care. Better is boring. And better gets you more from what you put into it. Better is leverage. Now imagine, who here has multiple opportunities they're building right now? How hard would it be to make a list if you've got 3 different businesses going? Look, I've done this multiple times where you get too focused on too many different projects at one time. Even within one business, it's hard to do that, let alone trying to do it for 2 or 3 different things. There's too much stuff. Too much to keep track of, which means it becomes impossible, which means that's why you have to pick one, because there's so much work that has to be done to do one business right. Just do it. If you do it right, you'll grow by default. Here's one thing that I learned that really changed everything. Systems beat hustle. Take all that we've talked about right now and then think about systems. The biggest breakthrough didn't come from me when I was struggling. It came after I'd already made millions. When the digital age came about and the systems weren't working any longer, and then I doubled down and realized it was more important than ever before to have systems when there were so many distractions. It was easy to have systems when I started 30 years ago in the absence of anything else to do. It was relatively easy. And network marketing was such an incredible vehicle. But in a digital age, you would have thought it helped, but it actually made things more confusing. And when I started to see this pattern with different leaders that were struggling, their teams were not duplicating, sales were often going up through individuals, but the volume was going down and recruiting was going down. That bothered me. Really good, talented people I knew were capable, more capable than I was. Look, I failed the fourth grade twice. I'm severely dyslexic. I had all kind of reasons why this shouldn't have worked. I saw people more capable and more talented than me that were struggling. And it wasn't because they weren't working as hard. They were working hard, but there were so many distractions. There was no duplicatable success. I started working through RapidFunnel with good companies, and I started to see this common pattern. That's when I really started to understand the challenge. I started to understand that my job was to make the KPIs as fun and as easy as possible for my entire team to duplicate, and for other organizations for that matter. I started to understand that different people are motivated by different things, and how to leverage those different motivations to drive the KPIs, the one thing that they can control. That's when everything started to blow up, not only for myself, but for others. The leader's job at the highest level is to create simple and duplicatable systems, not complex systems that only talented people can run with. Simple systems that anyone can follow. Duplication is the ultimate leverage in network marketing. If you recruit 10 people, they do nothing, you have nothing. If you recruit 3 people and they each recruit 3 and they recruit 3, now you have something. You are creating real leverage. But duplication only happens when you have a system. People don't actually duplicate. People are complex. Systems are not. A system that anyone can follow. It doesn't require them to be as talented as you. A system that produces results when you're not there. That's what I built. That's what allowed me to scale to hundreds of thousands of distributors. And more importantly, even maybe than that, is to have real freedom. I saw plenty of people at that stage that would outwork me. That's not necessarily the most honorable thing in the world. I mean, I respect it. I think it's awesome. People that want to work and sacrifice their family, their faith, their values, right? It's usually when they get way down the road and they made a bunch of money and they reflect on it all, they start to change as human beings. But what if during this journey, you could figure out how to create leverage, to help other people, to find it to be more satisfying, to focus on your health and your family and your business equally while you're building it, right? Now, here's what you need to understand. If you're trying to build a high-performing organization, the type of team we're talking about, the old way is not going to achieve that. You can make some good money being a personal producer, absolutely. But the power of a really good multi-tiered affiliate program, network marketing, or direct sales company, the power of it is the leverage. It's literally the comp plan is designed for leverage. But you have to incentivize that leverage. You have to drive the KPIs. And network marketing done right is such an incredible vehicle, maybe better than ever with what's going on with AI and displacement of the workforce and people having to take more responsibility than ever before. This is the best vehicle there is, but you still have to create systems. It's more difficult today than it's ever been too, because there aren't systems leveraging the digital environment that we live in. Now, perhaps the very best vehicle for anyone who needs to change and has limited time and money and experience is network marketing. But here's the catch. If you're still building your business the old way, cutting and pasting links, guessing who responded to your content, thinking your CRM is Facebook, paying for multiple platforms that you cannot teach to others to use, you're not going to build what you want. And here's the other side of that equation. Leaders are out there using these tech stacks built for influencers and agencies, and it's working. They're making a lot of money. I'm not telling you you can't do this. I'm telling you, if it's more important to you as a human being to say, it's more important to me than making $1 million a year is to help an entire team of people make $1 million a year, and I can still make the million. If that's more important, then you have to build it with them in mind. There are all kind of really cool platforms, and they're good, and we use some of them. ClickFunnels, Kartra, Kajabi, Infusionsoft, Go High Level. These are all great platforms. They're built for agencies. They're built for influencers. They are not built for the average 60-year-old. I'm using this as an example. I want you to understand it. If you say, I cannot teach a 60-year-old who is not tech savvy, who has never spent money on tools and technology, and doesn't want to post every day on social media or build their own funnel or write their own email campaign, if those are the only people it'll work for, it's not duplicatable. You can't get 80% of your organization to do it. So they work, but they work for you to recruit. But they leave the rest of your team in the cold because your team can't figure out how to build funnels, set up email campaigns, create surveys, manage automation. So what happens? You become the genius with 1,000 hands. You recruit people, and then you have to do all the tech for them. That doesn't scale. That doesn't duplicate. Wayne Gretzky says it's best to skate where the puck is going, not where it's been. And right now, the puck is moving fast. Technology is creating new leverage. Targeted opportunity seekers drop directly into your mobile device, personalized and automated follow-up sequences, AI-powered coaching content, personalized and targeted lead funnels, onboard tracking, accountability, in 35 minutes or less. This is the new leverage. I mean, literally, you have to take a brand new person, get them through an onboarding process that's 35 minutes, and they have to have all these tools personalized. I don't mean going in, paying $100, $200, $300 a month, creating these tools. I don't mean any of that. I mean, literally, it's automated. Here's what's different about what we built. Authentic sharing technology is real. It's a new breed of tech, 100% built for network marketing, not digital marketing tools trying to fit MLM, not platforms built for influencers that only you can use, not tools built for one-to-one mass marketing. Tools built specifically for simplicity and duplication. And here's the game changer. These tools aren't just for the leader. They're for every person in your organization. That's why we built RapidFunnel, because we saw where the puck was going. And I knew that leaders who gave their entire team this kind of leverage would 10 times everyone else. Simple, duplicatable, powerful. So let me wrap up with these 3 things that I promised you. Number 1, how making money in network marketing really works. It's leverage. You make more money by getting more from your time, not by working more hours. Work equals volume time leverage. More output per input. Number 2, why new opportunities are making you poor? It's the focus. You have to pick one thing and go all in. I've been in the same industry for 26 years, still earning, still growing. Not because there's a perfect company or it's a perfect industry. It's not. It will work because you commit to the process and improving your skills. Stay the course. Fundamentals don't change. First principles matter. Distractions kill dreams. Number 3, better is leverage. Systems and duplication. Do what works. Then make sure you provide your team a system to do more of it more effectively with less effort. Build systems that work without you. Create duplication that compounds. Track your lead measures, not your lag measures. That's what your comp plan is for. Make the KPIs fun and easy for your entire team. Build recognition and incentives around those things. Boring work builds wealth. Now, here's the final promise to you. If you do nothing, but you simply do everything you already know you should be doing, you are likely to discover that you will start making measurable progress in reasonable time. Do the highest payoff activities first. If you really focus on the income-producing activities, you'll discover your ratio between your lead and your lag measures. How many calls do I have to make using this script, right, with this follow-up time will generate this much in revenue, and then improve it. And it will bring you a peace and a calm that you've likely never had before. You just have to do the work and have a laser focus on the opportunity you are most excited about. Because ordinary business done for an extraordinary amount of time creates extraordinary results. Brian Tracy said, people overestimate what they can accomplish in a short period of time. They tend to overestimate what they can accomplish in a short period of time, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in a long period of time. But you got to stick with it to find out. That's how I help myself and others at the next level in business. From multiple failed businesses, 27 grand in debt, all of that stuff, to generating tens of millions in this network marketing model. And working with some of the top leaders around the globe, creating a $30 million technology company, still earning significant income from the same company I was with 26 years ago. It's definitely not because I'm a smarter, right? I promise you it's not the truth. Yes, I work hard, but that's not the most important item. I simply learned some lessons along the way. Focus creates leverage, leverage creates wealth, wealth creates freedom, and freedom, being the dad who doesn't miss events, traveling the world, owning my schedule, that's been worth more than the money. But you need the money sometimes, right? So here's my challenge to you. Don't look for the next opportunity. Stop hoping things will get easier. Stop trying to do 7 things at once. Pick one. Build systems. Focus on lead measures. Create duplicatable systems and commit to it for an unreasonable amount of time, because that's how you win. That's your blueprint. Now go build.